Now we will look a video of Laura Nestler, who is the representative of Duolingo here in Mexico. She recorded us a small video welcoming you to this meeting.
So there's a stat that we talk about a lot, which is that there are a lot of people in the world learning a language. It's approximately 1.2 billion people who are currently learning a new language. Now, 800 million of those people are learning English to connect and communicate better, to get better jobs, and ultimately to make more money. So while it's difficult for me to make the case that just one language gets you ahead more than others, it is true that in most countries, you can earn 25 to 100% more money just by speaking English fluently. But English is more than a commodity. It has the power to transform nations. It has played an instrumental role in the massive economic growth achieved in recent decades by countries like Vietnam and Thailand and Malaysia. And increased English language education is required to improve the lives of billions of people across the globe. We communicate in English, we negotiate in English, and we sing karaoke in English. Citizens of the world strive to learn English not just to conduct business or education and diplomacy, although those things are pretty high on the list. We learn English just to enjoy culture and entertainment. English has truly become an integral part of life for these billions of people all over the world. That is the reason I am so excited to welcome you today and to be your partner in education as you use Duolingo in your classrooms. You all know that learning English opens the door for opportunities. And though I work with people every single day who have experienced massive success and enjoyment from learning languages other than English on Duolingo, whether we like it or not, English is the most useful language in the world. We may wish that Spanish, German, or Chinese were the international language, but the situation is, wherever you go in the world, the common language will be English. This is true even if you live in a place where there's not an English-speaking person for thousands of kilometers in any direction. We live in a connected world, so even if you live in complete isolation, it's very easy to connect with people and movies and music and culture all over the internet. And guess what? Over 50% of the internet's content is in English. The runner-up, Russian, 6% of the content. 6% compared to 51%. And only 5% of the content is in Spanish, and that's behind both Japanese and German. Of course, you can connect with people in whatever language you are interested in. But English becomes the most useful simply because more people speak it. And I'm not talking about native speakers in the US or Britain or Canada. I'm talking about people who use English as a second language and the power behind that. I'm talking about most of you. For many, English is not their own language, but a language to communicate with other people who also use it as a second language. So English therefore becomes the international means of communication. So even if you live somewhere like Siberia, you can have contact. You can have a lot of contact with people from other countries. And in order to conduct that interaction, generally, you need to speak English. But it is not enough to just want to be fluent in English. In order to actually learn English, you have to like learning English. You have to have really excellent teachers who are passionate and who create engaging learning environments. And that is where all of you come in. You also have to have tools and resources at your disposal to practice. And that is where we come in. And as for the students, they have a responsibility as well. They have to go into it with the spirit of humility and a willingness to make mistakes. That is not easy. To learn a language, you have to have a strange accent. You have to botch your grammar. Ultimately, you have to have a strong motivational reason to devote so much of your time and energy into this skill. To connect with other people who live in different countries, to connect with their culture and their way of thinking is tremendously enriching to anyone's life. And that goes beyond just the 25 to 100% more money that you'll make. The important thing is being able to communicate, because we live in an interconnected world that we all share. Learning English is not just about getting a better job and making more money, although those are very, very compelling reasons. Ultimately, learning English is about communicating. It's about connecting. If you are traveling and you find yourself sitting on a train next to someone who's from Japan, having a common language allows you to speak with each other. And on a grander scale, I cannot help but think that the personal boundary shift that comes from learning a foreign language, the empathy that's developed by botching conjugations and brandishing ridiculous accents, is more important than ever. All 7 billion of us are alive at the same time, and we all have the ability to connect with others who are sharing this exact moment in this enormous history of our planet. I truly believe that there has never been a more important need for understanding, a greater need for empathy, for communication, for breaking down barriers that isolate us than there is today in this exact moment. And chances are, when you're breaking down those barriers, you'll do that communication through English. English for Spanish speaker is the most popular Duolingo lesson plan. It has about 115 million users. And the second most popular is Spanish for English speakers, with about 91 million users. Duolingo is used by literally the richest man in the world, as well as by students in some of the most impoverished communities, including refugees who are learning a new language to resettle and find safety in new countries and cultures that are vastly different from their own. Duolingo for schools is being used in more than 300,000 classrooms worldwide, and I could not be prouder to include the CONALEP schools in that statistic. I truly admire each and every one of you and the impact that you are making in the lives of your students and their futures every single day. You are leaving a lasting impression. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak, and I hope you each have a wonderfully productive conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the message. Do you have any feedback, teachers, about the use of Duolingo? Have you used it, and what is your experience with the platform? One second. Teacher, can you tell us your name and where do you come from, please?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Georgina Elena Freida Silveira, please call me Gina. I come from Letra. Okay, is that no? Okay. Again. Good morning, everyone. My name is Georgina Elena Freida Silveira. Please call me Gina. I come from Conalep Tlalpan. This is my campus. Welcome, everyone. Please make yourselves at home. I've been working with Duolingo for several semesters now, and students love it. At first, they go like, no, teacher, we don't want to work with Duolingo. It's not that nice. I don't have space on my cell phone. I don't have a computer, I don't know how to work with it, it's terrible, don't do that, don't grade it. But then at the end, they feel very satisfied and they feel very happy because it's like a little game. So when they're on the bus or in the microbus and on their way homes, or maybe in the evening when they don't have anything to do, besides homework, they work with Duolingo and they really love it. And when you ask them, have you learned anything during the semester? Did you do anything that was good for you for learning English? They said, yes, teacher, Duolingo taught me a lot. So they do like it. They are using it and they are liking it. So I think it's a very good platform and they're doing a good job with it. I like it. I really like it. And to grade it, what I do is I ask them to give me a copy of what they did during the semester. I ask them to print it, and it has to have their names. So they paste it on the notebook. That's one way. And the other one is that they show me on their cell phone what they did during the semester and where they're working, in which point they are. So that's the way I can grade Duolingo. So it's a very nice way to push them, right, to motivate them. So it's nice.
Okay, thank you very much for your feedback.
Thank you.
1 second, please.
Please, it's great to hear your words, teacher Gina. Tomorrow, with the space with Dr. Adonai, there is the first result about the use of platform Duolingo. Okay. Hope.
Thank you. We have a participation hello. Here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juan Carlos Rodriguez. Call me Juan. And I'm from Gustavo Madero, Conalep, GAM2. And I like technology. I like the new applications from internet. I really like them, and I use them. I have experience with Duolingo, but we need to take care when we talk about Duolingo, because Duolingo is a great tool. It's a nice tool. But even Duolingo is a perfect application, is not for a program, because the program from CONALEP is different. We work with competencies, and Duolingo works with words, translations, and translation is from many, many years ago. Remember that? We don't use translation. So we must be careful when we talk about Duolingo. I like Duolingo, yes, a lot, but it's not for the program of CONALEP. So there are many other platforms, yes. Do we have to use Duolingo? Yes, why not? No, it's another tool, but it's different. We need to use the communication with competences. Okay, so I give classes even in primary school, and I think Duolingo even is not perfect for primary school, because we teach in primary school not in translation, bunches, lexical methods. We have different methods to teach English, but Duolingo uses translation in Spanish. It's correct. Use Spanish is perfect, but it's not necessary, because we are not learning Spanish or English because we have the double thinking. Remember that? Okay, and I agree, Duolingo is great, okay, but we have to be careful with. It's not the same when we use Duolingo with a program. It's not the program. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, teacher.
Teacher, we in CONALEP looking for a special platform for our students. You have reason. Exists a lot of platforms for learning English because this platform has a cost, a high cost. CONALEP and their student have not capacity to invest in an English platform. In this case, platform Duolingo is free. It's not only for English, it's for study or learning other languages like French, Italian, and other. And for that reason, we have to support our acknowledgement, our students, our effort in this platform. We make, and you too, big effort, huge effort for our students learn to speak in English. It's difficult to to combine the different part of platform with our program. If you want to do, is well. I repeat that the same word that I told you a few minutes before. Tomorrow, you know the first result about the use of platform with alumni from CONALEP. It's not easier, but we have a good result. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another participation back there. Thank you.
Okay, hello, good morning to everybody. My name is Deborah Hearn Russell, and I come from CONALEP Irapuato, about Duolingo. When I opened this platform, I started working with it, and I thought, oh, because it's a lot of repetitions and translations and things like that, but as a teacher, I thought, oh. But what I saw is that the students, they could learn more words, lots of vocabulary, because sometimes when we teach them to some new structures, for example, present or past tense, they don't have enough vocabulary because the structure is the same all the time. But the vocabulary, the complement of the structure needs a lot of vocabulary, and they don't have it. So this tool can help them to learn those words, okay? And first of all, I started doing Duolingo, and I finished it. They gave me they recognized my work there, and they gave me a bird, a pajarito, there, and I said, okay, now I did it. And the next semester, this semester, I enter English for schools. And what I did, and the teacher also did, because she showed me how, we open sections. Now we are educators, okay? And we have our groups there. So every time that we take our students to this platform, to the lab, okay, they have to start with a clave. How do you say in English, clave? With a key, and they are in that group, okay. So for example, I had this semester, I had 10 groups, and I worked with the 10 groups in the platform, okay. And I asked them to reach 5,000 in experience, and they say, oh, teacher, that's too much. I don't know, but you have to do it. But if you do it, I'll give you a 10. But if you reach 3,000, you have an 8. So you decide. And they tried to do it. So finally, it was like forcing them to use a platform. And I'm going to tell you something, teacher. Last year when we were here, you told us, we are going to visit the schools. And we are going to ask them if you're using the platform. And I arrived to the school and I told my boss, hey, you're coming to the schools. Suddenly, they are not going to tell us when. So this comes from Mexico. And we had 3 hours a day, a week, yes? And they gave us 1 hour for the platform. It was good and not very good. Why? Because we only have 3 hours a week, so we have to reduce something in our program. Yes? Are you understanding? Yes? So we have always wanted to have more hours, 5 hours a week with the students. But we saw this platform is like, oops, they are not going to give us more hours. So now we have 2 hours for the program, and Duolingo is a support. It's good. Yes, it's good, as I told you before. They learn words, and they can learn also pronunciation if they want, because they listen to the words, to the pronunciation, okay? Sometimes they don't like to speak in our classes because they are shy, or I don't know why. And in this platform, if they want to do it in their houses or in their cell phones, or if they want to practice, they can do it. No one else is listening to them, okay? So, well, I think Duolingo is a very good tool, but just as a support. Yes, just as a support, okay? But we still want more hours. Yes?
Thank you very much for your feedback.
Thank you for the words, teacher Deborah. You have a reason. The platform never substitute the teacher.
We have another participation here, and then.
Thank you. Yes. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Okay, I think I agree with my partners about the use of the platform, but I would like to add that we can add groups, we can add classes, and the students can join to that classes, and then the platform automatically send you a report of the advance of the progress of your students. And I also use it on the classroom, but we need internet. We need yes, we need internet, and I would like that this program could download and use it. That could be better for me. That's all.
Thank you.
I have a very short comment on everything that has been said so far. Last year in October, when we were presented this platform, I mean, I have met the platform before, but it was like a national strategy to be used in classrooms. I think I was the first person to stand firmly against it, the way that the Dr. Adonai presented, because I commended that the way that he did, that he showed us how to use it, it was like pretty traditional. He had like the whole group in a classroom, and he was leading the class, and it was like pretty teacher controlled. But I used it. I mean, in this last semester with my students, with my 4 groups that I was given, I used it, and I didn't use it in the classroom. Because I think this tool is for students to become a little bit more learning aware, like self-awareness, to raise the awareness of their learning. So what is your role? Your role as a teacher is to let them take control of their own learning out of the classroom. So we don't here there in the campus that where I work, we don't have a lab, English lab. So I was given just 3 sessions in the laboratory, in IT laboratory. I took my students there and I showed them how to use it, how to make an account, and how to link their accounts to my account so that I could receive those reports weekly. And I was pushing students to, I was encouraging students to use it weekly. I mean, week after week, I showed the report where I let them know who were the people who were active during the week. So I kept pushing my students to use it. And I think that even though it has lots of translations and lots of things that I really don't agree with, there is something really, really positive that I will never give up. And that is that students take control of their own learning. I mean, it is not like if I have 30 students, everybody's gonna do it. I mean, there are like 15 probably, or 10 probably, who really care about these things. But there is something that I remember from a course that I took last year, and it is that if you do lots of things, and there are like 2 or 3 people who really care about what you do, you got success on what you were doing. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Back there, please.
Hello, good morning. My name is Swani. Well, from my point of view, this app is very easy and comfortable for us. But I have a trouble because it's the same for my classmate. For example, when I add my pupils in the group, it's difficult because I copy the link and they can't add of this group. I need more capacity of this app, I think so. And other trouble is that my pupils, for example, think that other signatures is more important than this language or this class, right? And I think that it's important. I support this support with this skill or this app, but I need more time, right? But I think that it's very great, this platform. I need more capacity. I hope that in this day you show me the capacity, right? That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Well, we will solve more questions tomorrow with PhD Adonai. He will be here to give a speech and a workshop about the platform. So we will make sure every question is resolved. Anyone else who wants to participate?
Las damos primero. Muchas gracias. Disculpe usted, es que
Hi, my name is Araceli. I'm come from Talpan 2. I have worked with Duolingo since 2 years ago. And I only know that my students are happy with the app. They feel that they understand the language. And this is the more important that I feel. That they feel that they know the language. If they feel good in the language, they are motivated to continue studying English. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, teacher. We will have one last comment back there. Thank you. And we will pass on to the next activity. Please.
Okay, my name is Enoch. We have a lot of problem with that platform. Especially, first of all, we don't have a good internet in our school. That's the first problem. And the second one, we don't have a lab, English lab over there. So it's for informatics, especially for that one. But we don't have a lab for a student over there. So we need a lab, and we need more hours to teach with Duolingo, with that platform. I want to tell to our boss from here, from Mexico, from our school, to add more hours for English. Especially, I don't know, if you want to use that platform, we need more hours. Probably like 3 hours more. It's not enough. It's not enough. We need more. Because, for example, in my school, all the students, they don't need that kinds of platform. They don't use it. They don't care about it. But we need to motivate them with more hours in English. with more computers, because they don't have lab, they don't have computers. Most of them, they don't have computers at home. So we need to improve more hours in English. So I want to tell to our boss that they need to give us more hours in English.
More hours.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for all your valuable feedback. We will make sure that Duolingo gets all the questions and the comments. And we have one last participation. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. So that's why it's for Duolingo use. I come from Iztapalapa 3, and I work for students who doesn't hear. So that's why for me it's very useful, the Duolingo platform, but it has a lot of problems with my students. I have been learning a lot of things of Duolingo, but I have many doubts about it. So, but the main idea is that for me, for my students who doesn't hear, is a good platform. Thank you.
Thank you for your feedback. We will, okay, one last participation, please. Here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zuli Gabriela Cerón Silva. I'm from Puerto Escondido, Oaxaca. It's a pleasure to stay here. Thanks for inviting us. I would like to say about because I use Duolingo in my first semester, and it was useful for my students because they can practice the vocabulary of different themes. For example, restaurant, vocabulary about restaurant, about trips, and it is very useful for them because they can use it in the dialogue conversations. But I think that have advantage and disadvantage, but Duolingo is practice. And I think that if we can be prepared for this type of courses and we can learn a lot of things, we can apply to our learners. Is the reason that I would like to share my experience with Duolingo, because I use quizzes with Duolingo. And I use a page that is very useful. Johnny with Duolingo is that quiz. Because, for example, on the week, I say, okay, students, you are going to be evaluated each week, and you are going to study the first topics. And they study at home. They can use 1 hour in another business or whatever that they can use internet. Not necessary to have a computer at home because they are very intelligent. They have a telephone, and they say, okay, I have Duolingo in my phone, and if I have a free class, I can practice. And the important thing is that we can do it. It's a lot of job because we have big group, 50 students, and we need to be prepared for that, but we can do it because if we have a good experience with Duolingo because it's practice. And now there is another version that is chatbot, and they can use it, and they say, oh, it's a question, where are you from? And you can say, oh, I'm from Cancun, I'm from Guanajuato, and another options. And I think that is practice. That's all. Okay.